Honestly, discussing about inflation and insecurity in Nigeria, this is not the first. This is also the first I'm treating it here from this platform. But we are saying, let those who are supposed to hear and take decision do that. Let's set our priority right. We can't be talking about a minimum wage, and we're talking of a private jet to president and the vice. Is this 3 kobo that we used to buy that? Are we going to purchase private jet with 3 kobo? Yeah, they were saying that he traveled now to, is it South Africa now with public jet? Yes, like also he's a human being.
No, it was his own private jet.
Oh,
it's his own personal.
It's a human being. For the fact that the president does not make him have 2 heads. We are all human beings, for crying out loud. Let us address our priority right. And everybody will live happily. God so much bless us with natural resources that we rich people are supposed to help people. People are not the one helping us because of mismanagement. So let's all look at it holistically and help. And you young ones that listen to me too, don't fold your hands. Find something to do. Find something to do. Don't also be looking government to do everything. Find something doing and you get it. You have your handset with you. You can work with it. You can create content and that's what is ready now. And make money from that. You can do so many other things. You can do supplies with your handset. Genuinely meet some people that have shops and genuinely tender whatever they ask you, your guarantor and all, and you supply it and make your own money. So don't just fold hands now and be waiting. We need to do something. We talk about change at the beginning. It's also part of the change. I said, at this critical moment, are we going to fold our hands and be watching? No, we don't have to. So let's also help ourselves. And then he asked a question before when he was also explaining. He said, how many of you can report a bad egg by your side? How many of us? We cannot. We hide it. I also know that sometimes if you also report, you ever report, they will expose that you are the one that reported. Instead of them to hide, you literally be a kind of anonymous or something. That's also fear of the masses not actually reporting bad people around them. And so we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. There will really be that great revolution, as somebody said before we really sit up and help ourselves here in Nigeria. Nigeria is going to be 64 years old. Now, October 1st will be 64 years. Is it just to celebrate it, independent day, and we remain where we are? Our government, please help us, because you are the one to take the lead, and other masses and the country at large will follow. So having said this, we go straight to question and answer. VividView.
Say and do it.
Mr. Champion, I have a few questions. One, you talked about sharing information with security agencies. And there's this common balance that say when you see something, say something. So my first question is, how can one feel safe sharing sensitive security information? And secondly, I'm looking at how government can reduce cost of governance as a way of tackling inflation, sir. The third question, there's been a clamor by organized labor for a minimum wage. They are asking for 250,000 naira, and the tripartite committee is suggesting 62,000 naira. Sir, what's your take on the exact figure you feel would be ideal that labor should earn? Thank you, sir.
My name is Moses Chukwukadibianwosu. My question is, considering the resident inflation in Nigeria and the unending dependence in importing goods from outside, sir, do you advise that we see recycling of what we have as a solution to this problem? Thank you.
My name is Helen Alinwawa. So my question is, are there approaches that the people can take to curb security challenges? Based on the fact that we've talked about inflation, we've talked about the security challenges, we've talked about the factors. So I'm talking about the way forward. What can we do? How can we manage ourselves as a people, pending when help comes from anywhere? Thank you.
My name is Ogenesumeme Bradu, and my question is, what policies can be put in place to secure farmers and farming activities in order to reduce the inflation of food produce?
Welcome back. We are still discussing inflation and mixed security challenges, and there have been a lot of questions from the audience. Please, our guests, attend to them. Thank you.
To start with, the first one was about information sharing. First of all, I want to share express my sympathy with respect to what happened. The people in our security agencies are from our society as well. If society has lost its values, then it means that some people in the agencies too have lost theirs. And then, like I said earlier on, we have bad eggs being arrested and picked up within the agencies on almost a daily basis. But again, the security agencies have made it, and the governments at state levels have made it a lot easier. A lot easier. There are 3 codes numbers you can call to pass on information. In Lagos, you can call 767 or 112. In Edo State, they have their number. In different states, they have numbers you can call. Even the army has a number you can call to report security challenges.
Without you going physically to the police station.
Without going to expose yourself. Yeah. Do you get? They may ask for your name or they may ask for the area where you are calling from. And you may choose to remain anonymous, even if your name is out.
Okay.
Regarding minimum wage, it's a very controversial issue. One, we can sit down and comfortably say 250 is unrealistic. How many government agencies or individuals or companies can pay 250 as minimum wage without having to chase people away from work? Then, on the other hand, don't forget that at every time a minimum wage is announced, the price of goods and services go up. From onset, we don't handle these things well. We don't handle them well. There are government agencies, including security agencies, where reviews are made. It's not public. All these fights, the traders are waiting to cash in. Everybody is waiting to cash in. There's a mistrust between the labor leaders and government. That is why things get this bad. If this trust was there, these are things, each time you sign an agreement, you sign it for, you have a period of validity when you have to review. But government doesn't follow it. Sometimes labor goes to sleep as well. So long as they are in bed with government. So it's a contentious issue. There was a labor convention in Switzerland. We had the highest number of delegates, over 200. And we have economic issues. Both labor, government, citizenry, we need to get our priorities right. I said it before. What are we doing with 250? We are talking about governments living a lifestyle of ostentation. The same thing is being replicated in organized labor. The people mounting 250, if they have private investments, can they pay their least paid workers 250? Let's stop being hypocritical. The economy is bad. We should be talking about, yes, we should increase the wages. Agreed. Especially after having seen what they do in government. So that has justified the call for that agitation. If government had been frugal all this while, nobody would be looking at that. That's true. But then, minimum wage is 30. At the moment, a bag of rice is 80. It's a shame. It's a shame. You see, labor should not just come alive when it is about minimum wage. Our major foreign exchange earner is oil. Nigeria, as I speak, does not know how much it produces daily. Stealing by collaborators in corridors, out of corridors, in the creeks, out of the creeks, and what have you. Saudi Arabia has a control room where you can monitor from pipe A, point A to point Z. You see everything going. If there's a disruption, you know where it is happening. Forces are sent there. But it doesn't happen. All the people that have been arrested for bunkering, where are they? Have you heard of any concluded matter? Say some people have been. There are no consequences in this country. What has Labour said about oil thefts? Are there no labor unions in the oil industry? There's NUPENG. There's Pegason. Yes. There is tanker drivers. What have they said? What solutions have they proffered to help us show up our foreign exchange so that the country can afford that good life that we are talking about? The problem is at our doorsteps. What do I think of a minimum wage? I'm an employer of labor myself. It's difficult to take a position. But you see, luckily for me, the national minimum wage applies to companies that have above 50 staff. I don't have that number. But then, if the Naira was okay, 100,000 won't be a bad idea. But the Naira is weak. Even if you do 100,000, if I'm your landlord and you do, I know that you have received 100,000 increment from 30. I'll be waiting to increase the rent. Then we are back to square one. There are so many issues to these things. We have policemen who abuse uniforms, who collect monies from food transporters. On his level, he's enriching himself. But in the long run, he's adding to the high prices of goods. So we are all related. Everything. You go to sit for an exam, you look for a special center, they help you pass. You pass through university, you can't fit in, you can't work. You have people coming to look for a job and they can't speak proper, they can't even reason well. There's no critical thinking. For me to take a position on the minimum wage, what I think, yes, government should look at raising it up a bit because the standard of living has, cost of living has really gone high. From 30, maybe 100, but I'm hoping it won't have implications on especially the private sector that may have to pour people out into the streets again. Then the other question, the cost of governance as it affects inflation. I had earlier spoken about it, that it's something I seriously frown against. You see government convoys of Mr. President or the governors, and you see a long convoy. If we all have to go there, why can't we go in a bus? There's so much money being wasted, fueling every other car. These are things we have to look at. We have to look at allowances. We have to look at what do they earn in government. We have to prune. The senators are the highest paid anywhere in the world, from what I have read. Our senators are the highest paid. Can we beat our hands to our chest and say that, yes, the Senate has lived up to the expectations now and in the past by churning out laws that will help to put Nigeria on the pedestal of growth?
Well, where?
No. About the presidents having to ask for a private jet. See, for issues of sovereignty, national pride, security, yes. But in this present economic dire times, it will be seen as insensitive. That is my take. He had a private jet before coming into office. In that spirit of sacrifice, make use of your private jet. We can maintain
For
it.
now.
Alhaji Lateef
Situation get
Jackman, as
better.
governor of
Yes.
Lagos State, used his private car throughout the time he was governor of Lagos State. He lived in his private house in Ikoyi, Ilupeju, throughout when he was governor of Lagos State. Do we have our present political leaders making such sacrifices? No.
Oh.
They keep asking us to. They keep asking us to. When you begin to tighten your belt and you begin to move the hose, you're going to squeeze yourself someday. You squeeze life out of yourself. Let them lead. Let them show us by example.
Michael, the thing is so funny. Even we are being governed, some of us also have a right mindset.
Yes,
I went on an airport where a governor, I don't want to mention the state now, was walking alone. In the airport, here, local airport. He just put his hands behind and was walking alone. I look at him very well. I say, I greeted him because I know him. And I said, and somebody started by me, two young members. I said, is that not governor so and so state?
Why
And
not?
I rest and say yes. He says, is it not wickedness? How can he be walking alone, the whole governor walking alone? Then I challenge the two men. Say, look at these people are the ones spoiling this nation. Why will he carry battalion just here? He's just walking alone and you say, he's wicked. Otherwise, you no one pay, give people money. You no one pay. It's also, we have some problems to ourselves. I said, this is the man that ought to be emulated. But other governors that have a lot of comfort that follows them here and there. It was after he has passed few minutes that I saw one young boy carrying features. That's okay. This is one of his boys trying to meet up. So these are the kings. So when we even see some of these people in hierarchy that want to behave well, we criticize them. Say, hey, they are wicked. For example, Peter Obi anywhere goes, he preaches, hey, he's a very stingy man. Hey. But he's doing the right thing to show us the right way.
Very true.
So we also problems to ourselves. The way we last time want to live big. So everybody must be like that. Whoever want to say no, let me show them example. We'll give the person a different name. So God will actually help us, because we have a lot to discuss. From my own view about this minimum wage, private sectors are definitely going to be affected. Even government may not even be able to pay, because we're also aware that some states have not even paid 30,000 naira. That's the truth of the matter. But for me, now, because of what is happening, I will say between 100 and 120. 250 may be unrealistic now because it will not come. So, but for 100 and 120, yes, some private sectors could manage because it is really high. But remember that everything also go up. It looks as if nothing is done. Because landlord will increase his rent, traders will do their own, and make transport transport, everything will go down again. Oh, they have increased their salary. Okay, let us decrease our own. And to some extent, you blame them because all of us visit the same market. There's no market that's separated for those who have big. You see what I'm saying? So you also blame them. These are things they really need to discuss properly and see how they will manage it, so that even when they increase one, let us see if other standard can be there. Then people will rejoice and live well. Otherwise, anytime you increase something, there must always be people that will react to it. That is it. We have to call a spade here.
The question came about how we can fight inflation, and then the need for recycling. Recycling is beginning to catch on.
Yeah, gradually.
People don't no longer throw things away. They keep them for one scavenger to come and buy from them and all that. You know, because you see that there are uses for all these metals and what have you, you know. Recycling. Yes, it hasn't caught on big with us, but then
it's coming on gradually.
We should do more to curb waste. People don't waste food so much more anymore. People don't, by the time you wear something and you look for somebody to hand it on to, that has always existed, but it's catching on. We should just avoid waste. We should redirect our appetite for imported goods to homemade goods. It will help to save that foreign exchange. We have to redirect our taste. We have to spend less. We have to stay away from unnecessary spending, unnecessary engagement, unnecessary show off. If you have a wedding to do, if you have a 10-guest wedding, it is not a crime. It doesn't invalidate your wedding against the person who called the whole town.
That's true. Do it the way you can afford, not out of shame.
What is important is for you to agree with your partner.
Go and borrow money you pay.
Let your parents, if your mother wants to show off, then give her a part of the bill to take care of.
Exactly. You get some mothers do that. Hey, I will show them.
Let us cut our cloth to our size.
Yes.
Sometimes he cuts it to what is obtainable, the style, another small style. We need to grow production. We produce rice here. If everything was normal, Nigeria can feed West Africa. But you see, the kids' gloves that we are using to attack the insecurity problems are undoing us. They are our greatest undoing. Rice, expensive. We are looking to start importing rice again. The last time we used to import rice, we used to spend $1.2 billion annually from our foreign exchange. You can imagine what that money will do for our economy. But now we are thinking of going to import again short term because of the issues we have. Our approach to security issues, on a personal note, some of us have house girls and house boys here. Some of us have parents who have drivers, uncles who have drivers. Did they bother to conduct a background check on those persons?
Before employing them?
No. Just last week, I shared something with some people.
I did do.
A house girl.
And they do.
A house girl was employed by an old woman, or to stay with a 75-year-old woman. She tidied the woman up.
Can you imagine?
Took her fingerprints, opened her phone, transferred money to her account, tied the woman up, used her the phone to send a code to the estate gate. She ran away. They are still looking for her. She couldn't have done it alone. She must have worked in concert with people.
Yes.
People don't conduct background checks on the people who they allow into their personal space. That's one of the things you need to do. Driver, staff, co-staff. A lot of young men get into trouble now. You go to work and you just meet somebody, you like him. They say the guy has teeth.
Yeah.
You go out, whether a girl or a guy, you go out to have a drink. You don't know him. And then you're coming and you stopped at the checkpoints. Then they find drugs in his car or they find arms in his car or something. Won't you be liable?
Of course.
Those are your personal security.
No matter your explanation, they won't believe that you don't know about it.
Those are your personal security. You need to be security aware in everything. I'm going to see somebody.
Hopping, you're really hopping. We don't know what is happening.
Check well before you enter the bus. You're sharing a ride. You're taking a ride, Uber, Bolt, whatever. Share the ride. You never can tell. You're going somewhere you're not too familiar with.
Tell a friend.
Findings. Tell somebody. Make findings about the security situation. If you don't know, leave the place early. Get back home. You sit down and you're sitting down at home. Lock your doors properly. Have your security lights on. What kind of area do you stay in? You stay where, like recently in my neighborhood, I started noticing the theft of pumping machines. They're not coming from the moon.
Okay, pumping machine, yes. So
these people don't come from the moon. They are from within. But we find out that a lot of people with those their pumping machines, they just have the pumping machine. They are not secured. There's no padlock. There's no burglary proof built around it. We should stop leaving anything to chance. You stay in a street, you stay in an association, join the CDA. Join the association, pay your security dues. Ask questions. Be observant, be vigilant.
Operation Know Your Neighbor.
KYC is key.
Oh my God.
Know who you're dealing with. Somebody comes to meet you. A random person. Can I use your phone and you oblige? You don't know whether they are calling, they're receiving a kidnapper's call. There are so many things that we take for granted. You hop into a Marwa before you look at the people inside. People have been robbed in Marwa. People have been robbed with different forms of transportation.
You are traveling somewhere, say, help me look at this bag, and they come, I want to use myself. And you stupidly agree.
A lot of people have gotten into jail
for drugs. To watch the bag. That you don't know
somebody
the person.
forms, help me carry this bag. By the time you get to custom check, you are holding a bag that doesn't belong to you. And that person, by the time they find out, that person is denying you.
They disappear.
But if you are able to cross, you see the person come to meet you to collect the bag. You want to go and rent a house, look at the neighborhood, go there in the day, go there at night, go and see how the place is. Take a good look. Those are things we can do for ourselves, personal security. You don't just go and rent a place, and then when you come out in the night, you see a bunch of boys sitting down somewhere. In the morning, they're idle. In the night, they're all looking dressed up, they're going to club. In the morning, they're sitting down somewhere, engaging in all sorts of vices. How did they fund that lifestyle? It has to be legitimate. Either they are pressing overnight or they are pressing overnight.
All right, thank you so much. I think he has been able to provide answers to all the questions we asked on this security and inflation. So, your final words.
Let's do more for our nation. Let's keep our elected officials on their toes. Let's make them more accountable. Let's also learn to live at peace. More patriotism. If you don't agree with something, it doesn't mean you should. Just like when people go to protest and they have to destroy goods, I don't believe it. You can protest without being destructive. Yes. You can disagree without being insulting. Nigeria first in everything we do. That's my final take.
All right, he says Nigeria first in everything you do because we have no other country to call our own than here. And so we have to do all we can in our own power, in our own ability to ensure that we also do the right thing. Even as we look onto our government to take the lead because they are government, they should show us good example. They should be good leaders. If they lead us well, then I think the thing will pass down to even the Nigeria is meant for all of us. All the resources are also to share at least near evenly to everyone so that what we have now is that the gap is so wide from the rich and the poor. Some of our resources are in the hands of few individuals, and this is not right. So they also try and call down their expenses, those of them in authority, and then it will flow down to other people. And I want to use the opportunity to say, please, our federal government, agree with labor people in as quick as possible so that there will be peace in our land. And having said this, thank you again, our guest, for your time with us, the audience here and viewers out there, our production crew, executive producer, and of course our sponsors. We just believe that God, and a prayer that God will bless all of you for helping us to be It's so good. We have done 10 years now, VividView, since inception, and that's a very big thing for me to say glory to God for His mercy and for provisions. Yes, for His mercy and for His provision. And all of you that have been cooperating so well with us. Some of you have equally stayed with us from inception. God will bless you for having belief and trust in what we are doing here. We may not see it the way we see, but I know that we are making impact in life of people. And so we want to thank all of you for being there with us. That takes me now to invite Shady to sign out the program. Keep watching VividView. I am Ehiliz, the praying mother of the nation. Goodbye. VividView.
Say and do it.
Wanna make my bed, you the brave make her fall. You think I go fall? Now what for you? I wanna get my bed, you the brave make her fall. Oh, you think I go fall? Now what for you? God gave my side, I got to roll from my head. God gave my side, I got to roll from my head. Oh, roll from. Oh, roll in my head. See, my eyes are winning now. I got eyes on billion van. I won't feel like Shagaban. Plenty doll like rubber band. They be backing like in guitar. They won't shoot me, they been the gas. Yeah. Wanna get my pay? You the brain make her fall. You think I go for? Now what for you? Wanna get my pay? You the brain make her fall. Oh, you think I go for? Now what for you? God gave my side, I got to roll from my head. God gave my side, I got to roll from my head. I got to roll from. Oh, yeah.